And
Amidel's Australia, and
video on one.
Zoom in Communication and Accounting from University of Otago in New Zealand. This morning, I think I met Professor Balusi, but I learned that it's online now. D'Ivoire here is an associate professor of economics and his PhD in economic sciences from the University of Tulsi. I will just stop there, but just to note that achieving university sustainability requires an ecosystem of several components. And if you listen to the presentation made by Salim in the morning, some of the issues that need to be considered will include policies that will drive strong degree programs in our universities, doing relevant research that can attract funds, developing innovation that can sell and bring money to your university. Organizational management is very important. Leadership is very essential. Financial diversification of the universities. There's no other solution to that. And lastly, digitalization. In the first round, we are going to have 2 rounds of questions. In this first round, we would like to draw upon the experiences of our university leaders in their various universities, and we'll be very specific about their universities. We want them to share key experiences from their universities with us. And I'm going to start with Professor Olufemi Peters, the Vice Chancellor of the National Open University of Nigeria, a fully online university. I don't know if you will agree with people. They say that if the World Bank stop its support for ACE Impact today, your university, being a fully online university, is one that will be sustainable. Probably you may agree with that. And the center, your university, the Arcitel Center, has been said to be a unique one. People say that it's going to be easy for that center to be sustainable no matter what. So, sir, what can we learn from how online universities appear to be having better advantages beyond other universities? What are those things that make your university strong?
Yes, thank you very much, moderator. Good afternoon, colleagues. The first question that we were to look at is the lessons learned on how NOUN can sustain itself within the context of open and distance learning. And so the experience I'm going to give is basically the experience that we've had in order to assure the sustainability of ESTEL and indeed that of the university. I have it as important lessons learned, but in actual fact, it is lessons that can be learned to enhance sustainability. Now, open universities operate within a particular context. The first context is they are quite new to the world, to the global education sector. The second is that they must be financially sustainable. For that to happen, their major target is how to have funds. That means we must have subscriptions of students. And it is within that context that I will make the following presentation. I'm going to make it short because I expect questions to come in after I've made my presentation. As Vice Chancellor, one of the things that occurred to us immediately ESTEL was established with us was that whatever you are going to do, whatever programs you are going to run, there must be a demand for it. There must be a demand for that program, i.e., you must find out what the market needs. There must be a target audience. Until you're able to do that, because of the cost that is involved in setting up any program in an open university, it is quite appropriate that you have to do this analysis. If you don't do that and you run programs, you will not have people to subscribe to it. If you don't have people to subscribe, you will not be able to sustain the growth of the university. The second thing is the quality. Once you have been able to do the analysis and you're able to identify the programs and the target audience, the next you have to do is you expend so much money on trying to acquire quality content. Spend a lot of time and you have to use experts. Luckily, the concept of open and distance learning lends itself to small faculty, but larger facilitators and assistantship. So it is easier within the context of sustainability to have a small faculty, which is what it does. But your essence will be to be able to have good content material. And in actual fact, in our country now, in Nigeria, we do notice that some of our contents are now being used at the face-to-face universities, lending credence to the quality of the content that you have. If you have a good quality, you are likely going to have reputation. One of the issues about open and distance learning is a poor perception. And therefore, you need to build a reputation that will make you sustain the university or the center that you want to build. The next is, when you start, it's likely you are going to have low subscriptions. And so whatever processes, whatever technology you are going to deploy, it must be very scalable. Because open and distance learning, online learning lends itself to mass subscriptions. So if you're unable to scale your technology, if you're unable to scale your processes like your warehousing, then you probably will have some issues, because the most important thing in an online education, in an online program, is student experiences. The student must have an experience to want to recommend to their fellow citizens. And if they don't have subscription.
Thank you, sir. I will come back to you. I believe that those things that are making the Open University to be sustainable can also be applicable to the physical online learning process. Let me now go online to Professor Badloze.
Yes.
I hope you're online.
Yes, I'm here.
Can you hear us?
Yes. Yes.
Is he connected?
Yes, you connected. Yes, I'm
it's
connected.
On. Okay, you are welcome. I think I met you this morning. You are welcome again.
Yes.
It's been said that no center, ACE Impact Center, can be sustained, can exist in vacuum. Your success as a center depends on the host university that in which you are located. We have learned that for your center to be sustainable, you need strong academic program, you need industry partnership.
Yes.
I will want Professor Z to tell us, are there some innovative activities that universities can put in place to promote strong research culture and industry collaboration that is peculiar to the need of ACE Impact centers? Prof.
Right. Sorry, I will speak in French.
We can't hear you.
Do you hear me?
Can we?
Yes, I will. Sorry, I will speak in French. Because
Sorry,
I'm not,
we can't hear you yet for now.
Do you understand me? Do you understand me? Vous m'entendez?
Okay, can you continue?
Yes. Donc, avant tout, je voudrais vraiment m'excuser de pouvoir intervenir en ligne.
Sorry, we can't hear you at all.
Oh là là.
I think the technical people are working on that right now.
Yes. Do you understand me now? Vous m'entendez? Do you understand me? No?
While I will come back to you, Professor Zay, let me go back.
Yes.
Let me now go to Professor Rosemond Wayne, the Pro Vice Chancellor of the University of Cape Coast. I've been to your university before, and I know that your university is recognized as an entrepreneurial university. And the ACE Center in your university, assessor, is highly supported by the universities. Can you tell us the initiatives that have been put in place by your university to sustain support that center?
Thank you very much and good afternoon. I believe that before you implement any project, of course, you look at the project's architecture, and that project's architecture should be part and parcel of the university's vision and mission. So from the onset of the A-Score program or project, you can see that the university's management bought into the project because it was part and parcel of the vision and mission. So when it came to putting up the structures, the systems, institutions, and the human resources to be able to drive the project, there was top management support. In addition, we also brought to bear the support of other departments, faculties, and even the administrative structure of the university. So for instance, when it came to implementing the DLI 7, that is the institutional impact, we picked various people from various faculties to chair, so they work as a team to chair these sub-teams. And at the end of the day, we were able to implement some of the activities of the project, like bringing in international accreditation, coming up with the regionalization strategy, which has been approved by academic board. And for instance, with the regionalization strategy, it was chaired by the Dean for International Education. So you can see that whilst we are implementing the project's activities, we bring together the traditional departments, the traditional faculties, and also those that we don't have, we improve upon them so that they will be able to help us to implement the project. So if you look at the programs that the center is running, they are hosted, for instance, the fisheries programs, they are hosted by the Department of Fisheries. With the Blue Economy, it is hosted by the School of Economics. So at the end of the project, if we don't have the ACE, you can see that those programs will still be hosted in the departments. Then, for instance, if you look at the implementation of the DLI 5.3, that is entrepreneurship. When A-Score was preparing the design, they collaborated with our Center for Entrepreneurship and Small Enterprise Development. Then I wasn't the Pro Vice Chancellor, so I was part of the team. And I remember that presentation won the best. When they were looking at the DLI 5.3, we won the best presentation. And they are not doing it in isolation. They are doing it with a center, and that center has got an incubator and in design thinking and innovation hub. So the system is already there to support the implementation of the entrepreneurial activity. If A-Score or ACE is not there, the entrepreneurial activities will still go on because the center is not handling students in other areas. They also handle students from fisheries and aquatic science and the center. So you can see that most of the activities, for instance, even the environment, the ecosystem, the university has given ACE land, they've put up a building. I think in two weeks' time, they are going to commission the building. So you can see that from the onset, every activity or every step of the way, the university is supporting it so that even if we don't have funding from the World Bank, those activities will be sustained because they've been incorporated and made part and parcel of our traditional university activities, policies, procedures, and programs.
Thank you very much. I don't know if Professor Z is online again, but while we are waiting on him, I will go back to the first to a summary of what the two contributors have said. From the Open University level, I believe they've told us that one, for you to be sustainable, you need to carry out a need assessment to the extent that you're only doing courses that meets the needs of the people. Ensure the quality of the program that you are running. It says good management is very important. For them in the Open University, they said they make sure small faculties with large facilitators. And then quality technology that is scalable. And from what we hear from the University of Cape Coast, your program will need the support of the top management of the university. You also need to see that almost all the faculty members have a buy-in into your programs. And then we've also been told that collaboration with other faculties is very important. And just as what Dr. Salim said in the morning, we should ensure that the ACE Impact program is incorporated into the university-wide activities. I will go back to the second set of questions that we want to address at this particular time. And this time around, we'll be looking at the challenges and the solutions to those challenges. I get back to Professor Olufemi Peters at this particular time.
Hello, can you hear me?
We've talked about the sustainability of the online university system. Are there some risks and challenges that come with operating a fully online model, just as you have in your university, sir?
Thank you once again, Mr. Moderator. Yes, there are risks and challenges. The greatest of all is the technical issues and the internet connectivity. Within the context of Nigeria and Africa, this is a great issue. And the solutions you need to do is, for instance, we run a blended learning. That is, we run blended, both physical in some cases and also online in some cases. But definitely you need a very robust technical support. Also is that some of the challenges we have is that to run such a program, the students have limited access to learning resources and digital devices. And perhaps the only way you can do that, provide a solution to it, is to explore the diverse sources that will provide access to learning materials and facilities, especially issues of laboratories and practicals. And we've had to spend quite a number of time there. The issue we also have is irregular and inadequate power supply within the context of Nigeria. These are challenges, and the solution is to provide power saving devices and backup power solutions, which we have tried to do in all our study centers. Another challenge is that of the regulatory and policy hurdles. Now, this is very important because if the regulatory body of your
Hello, Prof. Can you hear me? Please nod your head if you can hear me. Can you wave to the camera if you can? Can you hear me, Prof?
Hello?
Hello, Prof. Can you hear me?
I hear you.
Prof,
I hear you.
Can you hear me, please?
Yes, I hear you. Do you hear me? Do you hear me? Do you hear me?
Online learning. The next is, how do you maintain student engagement? The student engagement generally is poor in online learning because they are alone, as it were. So one of the solutions
Hello,
is
hello,
we
hello,
have
hello.
developed strategies, group
Anderson,
projects, peer interactive forums, so as to restrict or limit the idea of there being a loan. Of great importance is the challenge about academic integrity. Our students can do exams in their various
Okay, Prof,
homes.
we are ready for you now.
And
So
that
I would
is
the
one of the
Merci.
issues
Merci
that
beaucoup.
call
concerns
you when you are so that
online
you speak.
learning.
Okay.
Merci.
Now, you also have to be concerned about plagiarism. You have to be concerned about cheating at exams. So you have to deploy technology here as well. And issues like having proctor exams. In our university, what we've done is to have proctor exams for certain level of students and pen on paper, physical exams for certain number of students. These we were able to do in order to be able to maintain the integrity of the exam. The other issue is also about the cybersecurity that you have. The online institutions are very prone to cyber attacks. So you must have a very strong defense in order to be able to protect your data, because everything about online learning is data-based. And once your data is hacked and disrupted, it affects quite a number of all the other things you might need to do. Of importance also is accreditation and recognition. You have to seek recognition. We did this in Open University by first seeking, aligning ourselves with the regulatory policies of the National Open University of Nigeria and of NUC, National Universities Commission. And thereafter, we went ahead and attempt to get the International Quality Assurance Agency. The reason being that online learning is becoming a global project. Courses are now being shared between various institutions. I'm sure we're aware of many bodies that are offering courses. And so there is internationalization of programs. And what we've realized as an open university is that we have to key into this in order to be able to have what we refer to as the recognition of our programs. And finally, the issue of faculty training and support. Without your faculty, you cannot have a good online program. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. I learned that Professor Baluzi is online now. I probably want to get his ideas on the issue of the challenges. His project is keen on promoting marketing agenda for our various researches. And some other unique thing that you find in his impact project include promotion of innovation, entrepreneurship, and commercialization. May I know from you if there are some challenges from your university in achieving these targets or this focus? Professor Z.
Well, thank you. Do you hear me now?
Yes.
Oui, donc,
Can we hear
voilà.
you?
Merci. Je voudrais vraiment vous présenter mes excuses à toute l'assistance. J'aurais pu être présent avec vous physiquement, mais j'ai des contraintes. Je préside actuellement un conseil d'université, donc toutes mes excuses. Donc, pour revenir à la question, il faut dire qu'effectivement, nous faisons face à un certain nombre de défis donc, qui peuvent, je peux dire, empêcher l'innovation, l'entrepreneuriat et la commercialisation. Et l'un des défis qui est resté un défi voilà, à surmonter était effectivement lié au cadre juridique et réglementaire. Et il faut le dire, depuis donc, le 22 mai 2023, l'État de Côte d'Ivoire a doté notre système d'enseignement supérieur de la recherche scientifique d'une loi qui lui permet maintenant, qui permet à nos établissements de pouvoir entreprendre un certain nombre d'activités voilà, qui puissent nous permettre non seulement de valoriser nos produits, mais aussi de pouvoir les commercialiser. Donc, grâce à la loi, aujourd'hui, ce n'est plus un défi. On a cette loi qui nous donne assez d'autonomie. L'autre défi, c'est de pouvoir nouer des partenariats solides et fiables, surtout avec le secteur privé. Parce que nous avons, il faut le dire, au centre d'excellence chez nous, nous avons des brevets. Nous avons obtenu un certain nombre de brevets, environ une douzaine de brevets, mais on a du mal à trouver des acteurs privés qui puissent effectivement nous permettre de valoriser ces brevets-là. Donc, il faut vraiment nouer des partenariats, solides avec le secteur privé, de sorte à pouvoir valoriser les produits de notre recherche. Nous avons aussi des défis liés effectivement aussi certainement à l'insuffisance des ressources matérielles et financières. Parce qu'il faut le dire, on a un fonds compétitif pour la recherche, mais pour la recherche académique, souvent disposer de fonds, ce n'est pas évident. Donc, il y a ce problème de financement aussi auquel il faut faire face. Même si l'État a déjà mis en place des fonds compétitifs, cela demeure à être complété. Nous avons aussi d'autres défis liés au fait que nous devons toujours faire en sorte que les offres de formation que nous proposons soient en adéquation avec les besoins aussi bien du marché du travail que des utilisateurs potentiels de nos produits. Et donc, ce qui fait qu'effectivement, vous allez voir que dans le cadre du programme CACCBAD que nous avons en tout cas essayé de diversifier au maximum nos offres de formation de sorte à faire en sorte que ces offres-là puissent répondre aux besoins du marché du travail. Et nous avions à l'époque un problème avec l'incubateur. Nous avons effectivement mis en place un centre d'incubation régional, mais qui est resté longtemps inactif. Donc, nous sommes en train aujourd'hui de mettre tout en œuvre pour que ce centre soit opérationnel et permette d'accompagner les étudiants qui ont des projets pertinents, des projets d'entreprise qui peut être mis en œuvre. Et donc, cela nous a permis de mettre en place aujourd'hui le statut de l'étudiant entrepreneur, opérationnalisé aujourd'hui par le pôle étudiant entrepreneur. Donc, c'est ce que je voulais dire pour résumer les défis auxquels nous sommes confrontés. Il y a des défis d'ordre financier, il y a d'autres défis liés donc au cadre juridique et aux difficultés que nous avons à valoriser aussi les produits de notre recherche.
Thank you very much. And I think that you mentioned some of the things you need to sustainable center. Before we go to the you may want to know, we've said from the word go that some approach support you. Mentioned, you also need the support of the national government. If you have to go to the national government today and tell them that the World Bank is no longer supporting your ACE center, what are the initiatives or policies that you will want the government of your country to take so that you can remain sustainable?
Okay, thank you very much. I'll enumerate some of them because of time. Then I think when we have the questions and answers, we'll be able to go into detail. One of the policies and initiatives, for instance, I'm looking at the government's fiscal policy. And I'm saying this because we are looking at getting more capital. You know, if you want to strengthen research and innovation in our institutions of higher education, we need more resources in the form of capital. And I'm giving the example in relation to our center. We are looking at fisheries, and therefore we will need a vessel because when you are doing more research, there is a need for you to go on the water, there is a need for you to go underwater. And getting a vessel needs a lot of money. And therefore, we believe that if the government can support, because at the end of the day, remember, we are looking at the ecosystem. It is not the universities that are the people who are going to benefit. We are also looking at benefits to the community and benefits to the government. So the government would need to pump in more resources to be able to enhance and strengthen research activities in the center. And I also mentioned fiscal policy. Sometimes when you import some of these educational materials, you are asked to pay taxes on them. If maybe government can also look at the fiscal policy and maybe give us tax waivers, I think it will also go a long way in enabling us get resources for the center. Then we are also looking at enforcing regulation and the government also supporting coastal infrastructure, because we usually work with the communities along the coast. Of course, we have students and faculty, but there is a need for us to also support the building of this coastal infrastructure so that when we go in to do our research, things will be easier for us. So these are just a few of the things we expect the government to do for us.
Thank you very much. Probably I will now throw it to the audience. Please, you know your country, you know your government. Are there some government policies now that are contrary to the good operation of the A centers that needs to be changed? Do we have people in the audience who may want to contribute to that? Yes, sir. Can we have the mic? Somebody's. The mic in front here, please. Yeah.
Thank you, moderator. Thank you, colleagues. I'm not talking about policies that are contrary, but I'm talking about sustainability just the way we are discussing. I do know that in my country, you cannot, public schools, you cannot charge fees whichever way you want. Now, the ACE programs, the graduate programs, master's, PhD, if by the time World Bank goes away, and you want to bring them to how we do our normal postgraduate charges, I'm sure you can sustain it. And therefore, one thing government can do is to allow the ACE centers to still be giving some flexibility in the way they're going to charge for masters and PhDs outside the way we run our regular programs. If they do so, I'm sure it's possible to still get some funds to run those AC programs. But if they go and then you say, go back to how we do our normal programs, I'm not sure normal charges we charge in the universities can sustain us running the AC program. So one thing is to exempt us to say, okay, AC centers in the universities can still do appropriate charging for their masters and their PhDs. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any other person want to make some contributions to this? I can't see any hand up. Now for the research, yes, somebody's, yes. Thank you.
Yeah, I think when it comes to sustainability, we must see that first of all, you must get what it takes to run your system, and I think having a commercial mindset will be a way to go. Many of the things we do in the university is considered to be not for profit. In that instance, you cannot really engage with government, with public sectors, private sectors, and run things with them, because you are seen not to be a taxpayer, and so on. I think universities should think about forming commercial outfits and the ACE center as well, so that they can be able to do this bargain and get involved, with things, including, incubation centers, startups, and so on. These are legal requirements that requires legal entities, and for which the government will want to charge its taxes, but under the current systems we run the universities, it's not possible. So the business outfit is what I think the ACE centers need to establish with the support of the universities, so that they can get into commercial ventures, for sustainability.
Thank you very much. Just one or two questions from the audience before we go. Do we have anybody want to ask these panelists any question? We still remember the person that is online. Any question from the audience, please? I can see a hand at the back. Am I? Yes, somebody is here.
Bonjour. Oui, bonjour. Est de Djibouti, CELT. Une question pour notre camarade de Côte d'Ivoire. Est-ce que vous pouvez nous expliquer quels sont les obstacles qui vous ont empêché de valoriser ou commercialiser vos brevets?
Voilà, merci beaucoup. Effectivement, la loi, jusqu'à cette année, la loi qui était là ne nous permettait pas effectivement d'exploiter directement nos brevets. Il y avait d'abord la loi et après aussi, il fallait effectivement trouver un partenaire qui puisse vraiment, qui soit intéressé par ces brevets-là. Donc, c'est ce que nous faisons depuis que la loi nous donne maintenant la possibilité d'exploiter tout ça. Nous chercherons en tout cas dès cette année, nous avons déjà commencé les recherches pour pouvoir, parce qu'on a déjà une convention avec le secteur privé. Donc, grâce à cette convention, je pense que nous allons trouver les opérateurs qu'il faut pour mieux exploiter effectivement ces brevets. Déjà, pour le dire, nous avons signé un accord déjà avec un opérateur qu'on appelle Medifi Ivoire, qui est prêt effectivement déjà à mettre en œuvre, à fabriquer des biomédicaments qu'on appelle des médicaments à base de plantes à partir des brevets que nous avons obtenus sur certains produits. Ça a commencé et on va essayer de tout faire pour exploiter au maximum tous ces brevets-là, de sorte à accroître nos ressources propres. C'est dans le cadre de la nouvelle loi, nous devons vraiment accroître de façon substantielle nos ressources propres. Et donc, c'est une opportunité que nous allons saisir à travers la nouvelle loi qui a été adoptée le 22 mai 2023. Merci.
Thank you very much. Probably I allow the other panelists here to answer the questions. What are those challenges hindering marketing of our research outputs? Yes, sir.
What are what?
Challenges limiting the marketing or commercialization of the outputs of our research.
Yes, thank you very much, moderator. Within the African context, I think this is very easily discernible that the sector, the productive sector in Africa and in Nigeria is still very weak. And reliance on outside solutions to our social and productive needs are still basically out. Now, here is where government can come in. Government can now have policies that encourage companies, productive sectors within the particular context of a country to be able to buy in and have partnerships and collaborations with centers like ACE centers or the university in general. If we are unable to do that, it means that the solutions that we want to provide will still be found basically outside. But Africa needs to start standing on its own. The other time we have issues with bodies, African bodies having regional research center output. This might be one of the ways out in which patents will be encouraged and will be able to have commercial values, not only within the African context, but also within the global context. So my take would be that government policies must be geared into supporting universities within Nigeria to be able to exploit the research outputs that they have and encourage partnerships and with various productive sectors of their country. We currently don't have that. That is what I will.
Thank you. Yes.
And I also want to add to what Prof indicated. One is our connection with industry, because when you come up with the innovation, there must be someone at the end who is going to take whatever you've come up with, whether it's a product or service. Then also, what I've realized is that some of our technology transfer centers are not well developed. I had the opportunity to visit a country where the technology transfer centers, they are part of the university, but they are limited liability companies. And when you go to the transfer center, you have a marketer, you have a lawyer, you have those who transfer products, commercialize. There are different people who are experts. So if you're a professor or if you're a lecturer, or if you are an A center and you come up with something and you go to that center, it is a one-stop shop. So you have all the experts in there. But most of the technology transfer centers I've seen in some of our universities are just, it's like an office where you have an officer. So at the end of the day, the person comes up with an innovation and they don't really have the expertise, because it is not only the patent, it is even the marketing. And I believe that if we are able to also look at how we organize those centers, they will be able to help us commercialize some of the research output we have in our industries.
Thank you very much. This is the final question for which we want your contribution. It's been said that if there's a change in the leadership of our universities, it can affect the sustainability of our centers. What can our center leaders do to prevent that if there's a change in the leadership of your university? Do we have center leaders who may want to tell us what they can do so that their centers will not be negatively affected by a change? Yes, I can see one hand there and another one here. Another one here.
Any agreements between the center and the existing management should be put up as a policy. So when it's formally documented, approved by Senate, there's no new management that will come to change that. So it should not be a man-to-man agreement. It should be something that should be documented in the documents of the university. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Documentation of our policies. Thank you. Yes, sir.
Yeah, thank you. One other thing also that centers can do, working together with the universities to ensure sustainability, is to make sure that the people who are running the centers currently are co-opted into mainstream university administration. What primarily it means is that beyond the funding that we are receiving from the bank, the university absorbs the operations of these centers into them. That is one. The second one has to do with setting up of endowments. All over the world, when it comes to universities, they are built on endowments. And as we are looking at sustainability, it becomes important that we create an avenue through which we set up endowments to continue to support the work of the university. Thank you.
Thank you. As another hand here. Yes. Okay, one other.
Okay, thank you, sir. I think the first thing that will sell the continuity of the center is the performance of the center itself. Every vice chancellor will want success. So if the center is doing well and the center is communicating properly with the vice chancellor, then he will get all the support he needs. The center will get all the support it needs. And I think our center is a living example. I have worked with 3 different vice chancellors.
3?
And, yes, and from the Abubakar Rashid, the former ES, to Yahuza Bello, to the current VC. And all of them have given 100% support. And that is always reflected in the mission reports of AAU. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Yes, over here.
Thank you, Sha. Well, I also want to contribute because I want to share my own experience too. We faced that challenge when I was the center leader, when we had a change of leadership. And it was a tug of war for like more than 6 months. But eventually, as Charlie said by the last speaker, once as a center leader, number one, you are committed, you are open, everybody knows exactly what you are trying to do. And then your center is doing very well. In fact, the vice chancellor will find it difficult to remove you. Now, I want to say that since 2010, I have been center leader for this project. and I've worked under 4 vice chancellors without any problem. So the continuity is there if you have a center leader that is committed, and then you have a team that is also open and work with the university. Thank you.
So I think that one more, the vice chancellor here in front. Yes.
Thank you very much. I just want to add a political angle. Center leaders should commit themselves to their job.
To
their job. For example, when succession is coming, and then a center leader openly begins to play university politics, and then the person fails, then you expect the new vice chancellor to pat him on the back for playing good politics so center leaders should please remain within their focus so that let them not be, it's important. I think it's important they should avoid too much politics in the university. Thank you very much.
Okay.
So, moderator, I think we are not supposed to comment on comments by people who have spoken, but I thought it's important for us to also look at the centers devoid of individuals. That is, how do we make sure that the structure works? In Ghana, we have a system whereby people stay in office for a certain period, they leave office, then another person takes over. So once the system works, with or without an individual, the center should be able to flourish. That said, I believe it's also very important for us to look at how attractive our programs are. Because at the end of the day, if we do just an unscientific survey of you sitting at the podium, I can say without any equivocation that 100% of you or everybody might have had some kind of education outside your home country. Why did you go there? Because those programs are attractive. So if we want to postpone the funding of these centers for another 10 years, it will get to a time that we have to call what? A spade, that if you cannot survive based on how attractive you are, there's no way that you are going to be funded in perpetuity, so to speak. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Is there another hand up? I think that's a good way of ending this. There are 2. Okay, those 2 will be the last for today.
Thank you very much. I would like to respectfully disagree with the Vice Chancellor in the second row.
We can't hear you very well.
I want to respectfully disagree with the Vice Chancellor in the front row, and I would argue that every center leader should get involved in the politics of their university. I believe that every center
leader should do what?
Be involved in the politics of their university, because you need to understand how your university works, how the funds flow. And not only that, I think that all of the next vice chancellors of the universities are sitting in this room. And so they need to learn that skill set and understand how their universities work.
Okay, and the last one.
You are the one.
Oh, thank you very much. I'm also working with my 3rd vice chancellor on this project since 2013. I would first of all want to let us distinguish between individual projects and institutional projects. The project we are implementing in the ACE Impact or ACE2, ACE1 is an institutional project. That means the university owns the project. So every center leader that realizes they are only working for the university in that center, we promote the university and we not have issues with the vice chancellor or the university. And the only aspect that will be remaining will be interaction, which has to do with personal ego, and especially when in most countries, funding and more attractive things come to the center. And if the center leader decide to act as if it is not an institutional project, the vice chancellor or the university may have a problem with such a person. So my advice to most vice chancellors is we should implement this project as an institutional project. We are just working in one arm of the university. Even if we want to become autonomous, we'll become an autonomous center of the university. And all glory goes to the university. Thank you.
If I will summarize all that we said so far, for our centers to be sustainable, we need the center leaders who are there now to do their work right. We need the support of the vice chancellors, the management of the university. We need the overall support of the host institution. And lastly, to sustain our centers, we need the support of governments. I think it's better for us to start to speak to our governments now before the support get cut off. Thank you very much. I want to thank our panelists for your contributions. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Professor Oyole and the panelists. I think this was also one of the high-level panels. So I would like to request that we give a very big round of applause, and maybe even we may have to raise a bit for a minute, stretch a bit. I see a number of us are sleeping. So please, as we invite the next panelist, kindly stand. I don't know if there's some good music. Stretch a bit. It's been a very long day, but we are getting there. DJ, music. So as I call upon the next panelist, DJ, little music, please. So our next session, it's a plenary session on sustainability, lessons across the ACs. We've heard from the Vice Chancellor's perspectives. Now the center leaders are also coming to share their perspectives. So this session will be handled by Professor Luis Mira da Silva. He's a subject matter expert supporting agriculture centers, some in Ghana and Nigeria. He comes from Portugal. And he's a professor at University of Lisbon. Kindly join me welcoming Professor Luis Mira from Portugal, who is going to moderate the session. So the speakers for the session, we have about 10 center leaders, but I think we are going to split into two. So for now, we are inviting 5, and then we'll take another 5 later on. So let me hand over the floor to Professor Mira, and he will let us know how he's planning the session. Thank you very much. You may take your seats. Thank you.
So good afternoon. I was going to energize the room, but I don't think it's needed because Sylvia already did it. So. And because we had a lot of presentations in this session, we decided to break it in 2. So we'll have half of them before the coffee break. Then I think we have a coffee break. Well, we see a coffee at least. And then we do a break to stretch a bit, and then we have the next presentations. So we are keeping on and talking about sustainability. And the aim of this session is to talk about best practices, examples, challenges, solutions, achievements that goes towards this building of sustainability of the centers. So we'll continue focusing on sustainability in this session. Well, I don't need to tell why we're talking about sustainability. I think the whole day justifies why we're talking about sustainability. So this is the focus. And to organize the session was divided in 5 components, which are believed to be let's say, the core structure of the components of sustainability. And they are education programs, innovation, leadership, university integration, we talked about that in the last session, and research. And instead of now having the vice chancellors, we will have center leaders with short presentations. So in this session, we'll hear from different center leaders. And because we have not 10, but 11 presentations, we'll do them in a short format. So each center will have 8 minutes, not 9 minutes, 8 minutes to do their presentations. So what I'm going to do, I will introduce each center, then I will move down. And after 6 minutes, I will move up slowly so that you know that you have another 2 minutes. And after 8 minutes, I don't know what to do, but I hope you finish. Okay, I hope you forgive me for keeping the time, but that's what I have to do. Instead of introducing the speakers are the leaders of the centers. And I think the centers speak for the leaders of the centers. So instead of introducing the speakers, I will be more worried about introducing the centers. So I will briefly introduce each center. And to make this a little lighter and tasteful, I asked each of the center leaders to tell me what was the worst moment in the life of the center and what was the best moment in the life of each center. So before introducing this center leader, I will tell you that, I will share that with you. So I think that's enough from me. Let's suppose the 11 center leaders that will be with us. So please, an applause, and let's hear from them. And we will start with the Professor Maïsam Bey, which is coordinator of MITIC at the University of Gaston Berger in St. Louis, Senegal. And MITIC is a center for training, research, and technology transfer in a diversity of areas like applied mathematics, ICT, information and communication technologies, renewable energies, and digital economy. So they embrace different areas. And the worst moment in the life of the center was, and I think this will be repeated, it was when COVID appeared. When COVID appeared, they had to frozen everything, all the contracts, everything, so it was a nightmare. And the best moment in the center, they told me that they had a lot of best moments, but the best of the best was when the students win international awards and when the researchers win grants because they have good results and they win grants. So let me call Professor Maïsam Bey. Please, the stage is yours. And you have 8 minutes. I hope you are here. Yeah. Thank you.
Bonjour à tout le monde. Donc, je vais parler en français pour ceux qui parlent anglais. Je vous prie de mettre vos casques. Donc, moi, je vais essayer de parler de durabilité en termes d'éducation par rapport au CA mythique. Donc, yeah. Donc la première... Donc, ce que je voulais rappeler, ce sont les domaines, les disciplines scientifiques sur lesquelles le centre s'inscrit. Il y a d'abord les mathématiques appliquées. Ensuite, il y a l'informatique et la physique appliquée. Donc, les maths, ça apparaît. Il y a les maths statistiques, il y a tout ce qu'il y a autour. No, I have not yet. Back. Yeah, OK. Donc, il y a de l'informatique et de la physique appliquée. Donc, dans la partie... Donc, sur la partie mathématique, il y a tout ce qui touche les statistiques, il y a tout ce qui touche les équations et voilà, l'analyse. Dans la partie informatique, on a l'ingénierie logicielle, tout ce qui touche l'IA, système embarqué, cybersécurité. Et dans la physique appliquée, on a tout ce qui touche l'électricité, l'énergie, les télécoms et voilà. Donc ça, c'est notre cœur de base. Donc, par rapport à la durabilité de l'éducation, donc d'abord, je comprends par durabilité de l'éducation, c'est ce que deviennent nos programmes. Après la base, ont des formations. Donc, si une formation est logée dans une faculté, ben, elle est automatiquement durable parce que à la fin du programme, ça s'intègre directement dans la structure de l'université. Ensuite, pour les formations courtes, nous l'utilisons pour la collaboration avec l'industrie, donc établir avec l'État, et nous l'utilisons pour l'insertion de nos diplômés. Ensuite, les réseaux de recherche, donc ça nous permet aussi d'avoir des programmes qui appuient nos étudiants au niveau régional, parce que en général, lorsqu'un étudiant régional vient à l'université sans bourse, c'est un peu plus compliqué que de recruter un étudiant sénégalais sur place. Et ça permet d'aider un peu la régionalisation. Donc ça, c'est un peu le framework dans lequel on s'inscrit pour la durabilité, c'est-à-dire transférer les formations diplômantes dans nos formations doctorales et nos facultés. Les formations certifiantes, on les utilise pour aussi l'insertion de nos diplômés et les réseaux de recherche pour continuer à avoir de la régionalisation. Diapo. Alors, en termes de achievement, donc en termes de réalisation marquant, je pense que la réalisation qui a le plus marqué le CA Mythique, c'est la collaboration avec UTG, l'Université de Gambie, où nous avons formé 55 personnes en mathématiques appliquées, en génie logiciel, entre 2015 et 2017, et nous avons accueilli 5 étudiants en doctorat, dont la plupart ont terminé. Je pense que les 4 ont déjà soutenu leur thèse de doctorat. Donc ça, c'est vraiment quelque chose en termes de durabilité sur la régionalisation, où nous sommes allés dans une autre institution pour dérouler les formations. Diapo. Alors aussi, donc, pour toujours la régionalisation, en ayant des diplômes ou des formations de qualité, ça a accueilli ou ça a attiré beaucoup d'étudiants au niveau régional. Donc là, la carte représente plutôt là où nos chercheurs sont allés pour essayer d'aller chercher des collaborations. Mais nous avons des étudiants qui viennent de la Côte d'Ivoire, Cameroun, Malawi, Mozambique, Burkina, Mauritanie, Gambie et d'autres. Mais ce qui est bien, c'est que il y a certaines de ces nationalités, on aurait peut-être eu plus de difficultés à avoir des étudiants venant de ces pays si on n'était pas dans des réseaux de recherche. Par exemple, le PACET RCIF nous a permis d'avoir des étudiants mozambicains qui ne sont pas des francophones, mais plutôt des lusophones. Le Malawi aussi, l'Ouganda. Donc, si on n'avait pas ces collaborations au niveau international, je pense qu'on serait beaucoup resté sur des étudiants plutôt francophones, mais là, de plus en plus, on a des étudiants anglophones. Et voilà. Ensuite, on a Ace Partner d'ISTN qui aussi amène beaucoup de collaborations, surtout avec le Nigeria. Aujourd'hui, l'axe fort de collaboration du CA Mythique, c'est avec Capic Ace, avec qui on a une vraie affinité. Ensuite, il y a le réseau EDP, UMISCO et l'IREMA, qui sont aussi des collaborations au niveau international avec, voilà, ils sont là. Donc là, c'est vraiment la régionalisation, c'est aussi à travers les réseaux qui permettent non seulement de lever des fonds pour attirer des étudiants, mais qui donnent aussi des ressources pour que ces étudiants puissent venir au CA Mythique. Diapo. Alors ensuite, aussi, pour le renforcement de la collaboration avec le secteur socio-industriel, ce que nous avons fait, c'est essayer d'avoir des formations courtes. Mais ces formations courtes, on ne les a pas créées nous-mêmes. Sur la photo qui est à gauche, c'est avec la Chambre du commerce et d'industrie de Saint-Louis. Donc, c'est eux qui ont recruté des entrepreneurs ou des gens qui ont déjà leur entreprise pour recevoir une formation dans les compétences de base pour gérer leur entreprise, compétences de base en numérique. Et nous avons essayé de développer un programme dans le même ordre qui est destiné à des jeunes du secteur informel qui ont déjà donc un métier, d'avoir des compétences numériques de base pour pouvoir avoir ces compétences. Mais bon, c'est pas encore financé. Mais donc ça permet d'un seul point de toucher plus d'entreprises. Ensuite, on a des formations d'opportunités. Ces formations d'opportunités, c'est l'industrie, c'est le milieu industriel qui viennent nous en parler en nous disant ce serait très bien qu'on ait ces formations. Par exemple, la formation en pilotage de drones. Ce sont les agro-industries de Saint-Louis qui sont venus nous dire, nous, on a tous acheté des drones, mais on ne sait pas les piloter, on ne sait pas les utiliser. Et du coup, on a mis en place cette formation pour l'avoir. Diapo. Alors maintenant, les principaux défis qu'on a sur les formations diplômantes, c'est d'abord, comme vous le savez, nos universités sont très perturbées. Quand on s'engage sur des formations longues, sur 2-3 ans, avec les perturbations, c'est compliqué de garder, Ensuite, d'avoir des programmes de bourse de doctorat pour les étudiants africains parce qu'on a beaucoup de demandes. Je donne l'exemple du PACET RCIF. Par exemple, le MITIC reçoit plus de 300 demandes pour venir faire leur doctorat. Mais bon, en général, en moyenne, on en reçoit beaucoup moins, maximum 5 ou 6 à cause de la bourse. Ensuite, OK. Bon, je n'ai pas parlé de tous les problèmes, mais oui. Mais en tout cas, pour l'un des problèmes qu'on a, c'est que les entreprises ont des besoins en termes de formation, mais n'ont pas toujours les financements pour le faire. Et nous, une de nos stratégies pour ça, c'est d'essayer de voir est-ce que l'environnement national d'accompagnement des entreprises, notamment, on a ce qu'on appelle le 3FPT, qui est un fonds de l'État du Sénégal pour accompagner les entreprises à se former leurs employés. On essaie d'utiliser ça pour pouvoir les former. Donc, je vais m'arrêter là parce que le temps est terminé. Merci.
Sorry, So very interesting examples from education in the short courses. We are under the head of first head, which is education programs and short courses. And our second speaker under this head of education and short courses is Professor Mama Dauda. He's the coordinator of C2EA in the University of Abomey Calavi in Benin. C2EA is a center with the aim with providing competencies and expertise in innovation in water and sanitation. So the focus is on water and sanitation, and the center trains highly qualified personnel with the objective of solving operational programs that arise in West Africa and Central Africa. So the focus is regional. While considering, of course, climatic, geological, and special features of each country. So it's a regional focus with a local view. The worst thing that happened in the life of this center was that at some point they needed sectorial partners to do the short courses, and they didn't have them. So it was a challenge and a difficult period to find the partners, the sectorial partners. And the best thing was when one I think is consequence of the other, when they managed to grow the business in what they're doing and the business internships, and so they created like strong connections with the private sector. So I will ask Professor Mama Dauda to come to the stage, please. Thank you. Can you give him a place to sit there, John?
Oui, bonsoir tout le monde. Je vais parler en français, donc comme mon collègue de tout à l'heure, il va falloir que ceux qui ne comprennent pas français prennent les casques. Et une minute. Oui, mais il n'y a pas. La présentation. Nos présentations. OK. Alors, par rapport au Centre d'excellence d'Afrique pour l'eau et l'assainissement, nous sommes en termes de, en termes de contexte, il faut se dire que l'on a constaté que les formations sont souvent pas en adéquation avec le marché. Donc, il a fallu analyser le marché et mettre en place un certain nombre de formations, notamment les programmes de master, les programmes de PhD, mais aussi les formations courte durée, où nous nous sommes beaucoup plus appuyés sur les besoins du monde du sectoriel. Avec le conseil sectoriel, ça nous a permis de ressortir ces besoins-là. Alors, il importe de comprendre que pour la durabilité de ces genres d'actions, et je voudrais quand même, avant d'aller au niveau de la durabilité, dire que tous les programmes qui ont été développés, contrairement à ce qui a été dit tout à l'heure, sont dans une école d'IA. C'est dans l'Institut national de l'eau, et c'est l'occasion ici de remercier le rectorat, puisque toutes ces formations sont déjà accréditées au plan national. Alors, qu'est-ce qu'il faut faire pour améliorer la... Excusez, revenez un peu. Par rapport à ce qui se faisait, généralement, nous avions les formations, mais on manque des éléments pertinents par rapport au laboratoire, et donc il a fallu renforcer ces laboratoires. Mais ce qui est nouveau et qui va assurer un peu la durabilité de ces formations, c'est beaucoup plus les écoles de terrain. Ces écoles de terrain sont réalisées avec les partenaires, notamment à travers le laboratoire Miss International que nous animons avec l'Université de Grenoble en France. Et ça permet de mettre en application tout ce qui se passe dans les salles, sur le terrain, et de renforcer la pratique et pour une meilleure formation. Nous pensons que ce format qui est déjà utilisé de l'autre côté et que nous implémentons en Afrique va fixer davantage ceux qui sont formés et de ce point de vue assurer la durabilité. Nous avons également tout ce qui concerne les stages en entreprise qui renforce également ce besoin-là et qui va faire que nous allons corriger les écoles de terrain avec le retour que nous avons avec les entreprises au niveau des stages. On peut aller. Oui, slash. Alors, pour ce qui concerne la durabilité, il y a également la régionalisation qui est un élément très important. Et de ce point de vue, nous avons la carte de la régionalisation qui montre que nous couvrons déjà l'Afrique de l'Ouest et l'Afrique centrale. Bon, il va falloir qu'on augmente, qu'on aille un peu plus loin, mais nous avons également cette régionalisation au niveau des PhD qui est déjà largement assez intéressant. Donc, à travers le programme Wascal qui est hébergé et qui concerne notre centre et qui nous a permis de booster cet aspect-là. Mais nous avons au niveau des masters à rattraper cet élément. Par contre, par rapport aux gens, nous avons pratiquement atteint les résultats, mais il reste encore à faire du point de vue des masters par rapport aux femmes. Nous pouvons continuer. Oui, slash. Alors, quels sont les éléments que nous pensons qui sont quand même réussis? C'est d'abord par rapport à l'interaction que nous avons eue avec le monde professionnel, notamment le secteur privé, qui a sollicité notre centre du point de vue des formations courte durée. Comme vous le voyez, nous avons ici un certain nombre de sessions que nous avons eu à mettre en place. Ça va de la gestion intégrée des ressources en eau et en passant par tout ce qui est SIG et télédétection pour aller vers la gestion des déchets. Donc, c'est juste quelques exemples qui sont donnés avec quelques chiffres là. Nous pourrons continuer pour ne pas... Alors, après ces éléments, nous avons pratiquement, comme je l'avais indiqué tout à l'heure, 13 masters qui sont déroulés et ces masters vous sont présentés ici. Mais ce qui est beaucoup plus nouveau, c'est surtout l'hydro-informatique. ça prend en compte le besoin futur de l'utilisation de l'intelligence artificielle pour pouvoir résoudre nos problèmes et notamment dans le secteur de l'eau et de l'environnement. Ce serait un programme qui est d'ailleurs beaucoup plus sollicité par les aspects de start-up. Nous pourrons continuer. Oui, slash. Et donc, c'est les autres éléments de formation qui sont déroulés beaucoup plus en termes de formation continue parce que ça concerne beaucoup plus ceux qui sont en activité. Et là, nous avons tout ce qui a trait à la gestion des risques et tout ce qui a trait au management environnemental et à la qualité des eaux. Oui, continue. Nous avons donc quelques défis. Les principaux défis restent encore l'augmentation du nombre de femmes dans nos formations et aussi la régionalisation, comme je l'ai indiqué tout à l'heure. Autre élément, oui, allez. Les éléments de solution que nous pensons pour pouvoir assurer la durabilité, nous pensons qu'il faille augmenter, il faille augmenter donc le nombre de bourses attribuées aux femmes pour pouvoir corriger le déficit de femmes qui a été constaté tout à l'heure. Nous avons également le sectoriel et son réseau, qui est un élément que nous allons utiliser à fond pour pouvoir permettre à nos centres d'être en cohérence avec les besoins du monde professionnel et de formaliser également cet aspect-là par rapport à des tests qui vont nous permettre de travailler en toute légalité. Je vous remercie.
Okay, it's very interesting to see something that was mentioned in a previous session. Well, the diversity of the offer. So it was impressive, like a lot of different masters. But what is impressive to me as well is that they are all very closely related to the focus of the center. And that was mentioned in the previous session, this need for a focus on what each center is doing. And we could see that in this presentation. So we're moving from education and the short courses to innovation. And our next three presenters are talking about or focusing on innovation. The first one is Professor Sola Aderumnu, is the center leader of Oak Park. Obafemi Awolowo University, Nigeria. The focus of this center is to train high-quality ICT and engineering students. So we are focusing on ICT and engineering, who will recognize, understand, and exploit the potential for emerging modern global technology. And the vision, if I can call it that, it's not here, is Africa's technological transformation. The worst moment in the life of the center was when the first set of regional students came back to campus and they rejected the hostel accommodation provided to them. So all the 14 regional students marched, the word is marched here, marched to the center with their loads. You can explain more. I cannot. The best thing was the day when they received the certificate of company registration, like a spin-off, I imagine, a spin-off of the center, and this company, which is a spin-off, which develop and increase the revenue for the center. So we're talking about sustainability. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Hello. Hello. Yeah. Good afternoon, Vice Chancellors, center leaders, experts, and other colleagues. Let me again thank you for this opportunity, and I'm here to share the center experience in terms of innovation for sustainability. I want to say that sustainability of the center goes beyond getting tuition fee from the student. That is not innovation. Innovation is like bringing new ideas, products, and services to sustain the center. And that is what we've been doing the last 8 years. We are part of AC1, and then luckily for us, we are part of the AC Impact. So we are trying to use innovation to sustain the center. And I want to say that there are 4 key pillars of sustainability. So, and you must, for you to sustain the center, you must look at social sustainability, economic sustainability, environmental, and human. These 4 are very key to sustaining your center. And you cannot do that through tuition fee. You do it through innovation. And that's exactly what we are trying to do in the center. Next. Now, there are a lot of achievements in the last few years within the center. We are able to gather a lot of students as postgraduate and undergraduate into different research groups. And today, we are proud to say that we have about 9 different products that we are trying to see whether we can commercialize. Before now, we have about 5 spin-off companies, and they're really doing well. Now we have about 9 products that we are trying to commercialize. Starting from robotics group, we have the embedded system group, where we are trying to develop a low-cost Android phone. And there is a market for that, even within Osun State. So the challenge now is about 90% complete, and we are sure by the time it's completed, we have market for the low-cost Android phone. The same thing with the robot, the autonomous robot. The robot is already there. We have all our stakeholders from the health sectors, even within the local communities. They are asking us to build the robot for them. The robot can perform 3 functions. Number 1, it can take the temperature of anybody that is coming to the center or to any of the rooms. Number 2, it can do a kind of infect the environment. And then it can also do a kind of social interaction among maybe sick people. Even we can take it to the library. The only thing we just need to do here is to reprogram it. We have a lot of set of students now within the center that are good in the area of robotics. All what they just need to do is bring your problem, they configure this robot to solve that problem for you. And by the time we are able to get this product out to the market, it's a lot of funding coming back to the center. So, and that is why we are saying that innovation is good for sustainability. The same thing with cybersecurity. We have the fintech group, which is working on simplifying everyday payment. We have real estate group. We have the blockchain technology group. We have the textile digital ecosystem. This set of group, they are working with the faculty of agric researchers to look at textile. We have indigenous multilingual animation cartoons. Then there is another group working on telemedicine group. That is mobile health. So we have a lot of products coming out of the center. And in fact, the first 2 is almost completed. And within the next few months or a year, those products will go to the market. And then we start generating a lot of funding to the center. Next. So you can see this is the robot. And then the other phone. Now there are 2 key challenges. Yeah, this is the robot. So it's there already. In fact, today they are doing a presentation in Ife today where stakeholders want to see how this robot works. So it's already working. It's just for us to complete the package and then get it to the stakeholders. And then we've identified our stakeholders. It can be useful in any of the higher institutions, in the libraries, in hospitals, and so on and so forth. There are 2 key challenges that we encountered. Number 1, attempt to snatch well-grounded startup by well-established company. You know that, and that is a problem. That's a challenge. Now we are trying to collaborate with some companies, but they discovered that most of these our students are very sound. So rather than them investing on the product, they will ask them to leave the center and come and join their company to work. So, and that's one of the problems. But we are trying to find ways around that problem. Number 2 is inadequate space. Now, because of the environment we provided, we now have a lot of students coming to the center now, the incubation center. So the whole place is already crowded. And in fact, we are not ready to even take more students. So those are the two challenges that we are facing now. But we are able to get some solution around it. Thanks to the World Bank, thanks to AAU. That is our incubation center. It was commissioned December last year. And then we have about 10 different research labs in that same building where we accommodate most of these young students, both undergraduate and postgraduate. And what we are looking at is solving problems that will affect the society with the industry. So that is one of the labs, and that is the incubation center. So for us to prevent those companies to take our students away, that's what we've done. We've provided highly conducive environment that is characterized by vision statement and focus, access to resources, availability of seed funding. So we are giving them seed funding to support their product, quality of students attracted. We make sure that they are of high quality, competent and motivated center team, support from university administration. My vice chancellor is here. We receive a lot of support from the vice chancellor and the management team. And that is why that center is being successful today. Good mentoring model. We develop different mentoring model to support the students. So we have spin-off companies. We have some of our students there, and that's the incubation center. The second challenge, luckily for us, through the university management, we got a lot of support from the federal government of Nigeria. So we have 3 centers now that we are going to be using. Center of Excellence in Telecommunication, supported by NCC, Center of Excellence in Digital Literacy and Emerging Technology, supported by TED Fund, and the last one is Artificial Intelligence and Virtual Reality Laboratory. This will accommodate minimum of another 500 students for that innovation. So this one was donated by Federal Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management, and Social Development. On that note, I want to thank my Vice Chancellor and the University Administration because they are the one that facilitated that. I want to thank you. God bless.
Wow, this is, you know, I work in innovation, so when I hear these presentations, my heart is full of hope. And thank you very much. It was a wonderful example of innovation in startups and incubation. And I never saw an incubation that was overcrowded, so it's my first time. So they're really building on it. So our next presenter is also on innovation, and it is Professor Aruna Karambiri, coordinator of QIE, which is the International Institute of Water and Environmental Engineering in Burkina Faso. QIE is a center of that works on water, sanitation, and environmental sciences and technologies. And the focus is to train innovative engineer entrepreneurs, I like the word, professional managers and technicians, and conduct applied research in the fields of water engineering and sanitation, with a broad focus on agricultural development and the environment. The worst moment that they lived was, here comes again, the outbreak of COVID, when they had 1,500 students confined in the campus. Without COVID, that would be a party. But with COVID, it was terrible, you can imagine. But thanks, then they deployed e-learning systems, and that I think it was a big achievement of this program, the deployment of e-learning systems, and they managed to overcome this limitation during COVID. The best thing was when the doctoral students in 2023, so this year, they did a competition organized by the Agence Universitaire, I don't know, Francophonie. Yeah. And anyway, what matters is that they won the first prize, at national level. And then they went to the grand finale in Morocco and they won the third prize. So I hope next year we will take the first prize at the international competition. Thank you.
Bien, merci. Bonsoir à toutes et à toutes. Donc, dans la foulée de l'innovation, je voudrais donc présenter l'expérience du Centre d'excellence 2 yeux sur les questions de durabilité. Je pense que depuis ce matin, nous discutons de cette question très importante, capitale, pour l'avenir en fait des centres. Alors, peut-être juste un mot pour dire que la durabilité s'impose aujourd'hui. Il ne s'agit pas en fait d'un débat, il ne s'agit pas d'un choix, mais il s'agit d'une obligation. Une obligation pour l'ensemble des centres d'excellence. Et pour nous, cette durabilité comporte deux dimensions. Alors, il y a la dimension de renforcement des acquis des centres. Aujourd'hui, parce que nous avons engrangé des acquis, et la question, c'est comment conserver ces acquis. Je pense aux accréditations, je pense en fait à toutes les améliorations pédagogiques qui ont été faites. Donc, le premier challenge sera en fait de conserver ces acquis. Le deuxième challenge sera de développer nos centres d'excellence au-delà de ces acquis. Et je pense que la durabilité doit se voir en fait sous ces deux angles-là. Et il appartient donc à chaque centre de développer donc des initiatives et surtout des initiatives nouvelles. Alors, ces initiatives ne vont pas, on ne va pas les réinventer, mais il faut partir en fait des forces et des savoir-faire en fait des centres d'excellence. Et nous pensons en tout cas que nous devons aller au-delà de la génération en fait classique de revenus que nous faisons à travers les frais de scolarité, à travers les frais de formation continue, les projets de recherche. Il faut vraiment que nous ayons des initiatives nouvelles qui s'inscrivent dans la durée. Et en cela également, j'ai pas dit une initiative, mais plusieurs initiatives. Et comme cela a été démontré, cela va toucher la formation, cela va toucher l'entrepreneuriat, cela va toucher d'autres domaines de génération des revenus. Et pour nous, au sein donc du centre d'excellence, nous nous sommes investis dans l'innovation, entre autres initiatives, innovation et entrepreneuriat, et cela depuis plus d'une dizaine d'années. Et il faut le dire que c'est un processus long. Tout à l'heure, mon collègue du Nigeria en fait l'a montré. Il faut en fait s'inscrire dans la durée. Et pour nous, en tout cas, nous comptons faire de cette innovation un levier de soutenabilité donc du centre d'excellence. Next. Alors, certainement que vous vous rappelez de notre dispositif d'incubateur que nous avons en fait présenté à plusieurs ateliers, et nous avons eu le plaisir de partager notre expérience, d'accueillir en fait nos collègues des autres centres à 2 yeux pour partager, pour qu'ils s'inspirent de notre modèle. Donc, c'est un modèle que nous avons qui permet en fait de sélectionner des porteurs de projets innovants, qu'ils soient en fait nos propres étudiants en interne ou alors des porteurs de projets externes. Donc, à travers donc un concours que nous lançons, et lorsqu'ils sont en fait sélectionnés, ils suivent donc tout un parcours et ils intègrent notre dispositif d'incubateur. Donc, l'incubateur va permettre effectivement, avec l'encadrement nécessaire sur tous les aspects, que ce soit financier, coach, et surtout aussi en fait technique et technologique à travers nos laboratoires, permettre donc de mener l'innovation jusqu'à un niveau en fait de maturité. Et après cette phase d'incubation, nous avons la phase pépinière, effectivement, où nous pouvons accompagner en tout cas certaines entreprises à donc se créer. Alors, nous avons, dans l'optique de la durabilité, renforcé ce dispositif, notamment en fait cette année. C'est un projet en fait qui est en cours, parce que nous avons constaté que nous travaillons sur des innovations technologiques. Donc, il nécessite effectivement qu'il y ait des prototypes, que nous pouvons en fait faire des démonstrations en fait au sein des laboratoires. Donc, nous avons développé un atelier de fabrication, un Fab Lab géant, avec tout ce qu'il faut comme équipement de dernière technologie en tout cas, pour que les porteurs de projets, les incubés, puissent expérimenter leurs innovations. Donc, cet atelier, il est en construction, il comporte donc des imprimantes 3D, des machines-outils, tout ce qui est également en fait électronique de pointe, automatisme robotique, et également en fait des simulateurs de réalité en fait virtuelle. Voilà, pour vraiment créer, renforcer cet environnement d'écosystème entrepreneurial salariale au sein du centre. Alors, next, please. Quels sont les acquis que nous avons aujourd'hui, au jour d'aujourd'hui? Alors, il faut dire que nous avons pu incuber, en tout cas dans le dispositif, plus de 45 startups, donc qui sont sortis de notre système, avec aujourd'hui, quand on fait une évaluation, un taux de réussite de 70%, donc qui ont pu créer effectivement en fait leur entreprise. Sans que effectivement le centre n'ait des prises de part, mais ce que justement toujours dans l'optique de la durabilité, nous avons décidé de faire ces dernières années, mais c'est les entreprises que nous accompagnons au niveau en fait de la pépinière, justement, d'avoir des prises de participation. Et nous avons l'exemple donc de Innofaso, donc qui a été incubé et aujourd'hui qui est en phase pépinière, qui produit donc des solutions innovantes pour lutter contre la malnutrition à base donc de ressources locales. Donc cette entreprise, elle est sur le campus du centre d'excellence 2 yeux, fait aujourd'hui un chiffre d'affaires de plus de 5 milliards de francs CFA et depuis 2019, puisque au début on ne pouvait pas en fait rentrer dans le capital parce qu'il fallait laisser grandir en fait l'entreprise. Donc nous avons depuis 2019 des dividendes que nous percevons, plus de 145 millions de francs CFA au compte donc en fait effectivement du centre. Donc c'est quelque chose que nous allons en fait continuer puisque l'entreprise est en développement et l'idée c'est d'ailleurs que cette entreprise puisse sortir du campus de 2 yeux pour s'installer en fait dans un autre espace plus grand qui offre plus de commodités et 2 yeux va continuer effectivement en fait à avoir ses prises de participation. L'autre aspect c'est que c'est une entreprise aussi qui reste en partenariat avec l'institution parce que il y a des offres d'emploi, il y a des stages qui sont en fait offerts. L'autre entreprise qui est en cours de création parce que la phase de maturation, en fait, la maturation est finie, c'est l'AFI Concept, donc qui développe une technologie en fait pour le transport donc de vaccins en toute sécurité, et nous avons décidé de faire une prise d'action de 20% donc du capital de cette entreprise-là. Next. Alors l'autre point fort, en plus donc du dispositif d'entrepreneuriat, c'est comment on valorise nos résultats en fait de la recherche. Alors nous avons commencé en fait le processus dans l'optique effectivement de valoriser et de commercialiser en fait ces résultats. Et nous avons aujourd'hui 2 innovations qui sont sur la table, qui sont en discussion, en négociation. Il s'agit en fait d'un kit d'irrigation complet que nous avons en fait développé, testé, optimisé, qui est très robuste parce que la question effectivement de l'eau aujourd'hui, de la gestion de l'eau en agriculture en fait se pose et la vision, en tout cas les perspectives récentes, c'est la création d'une entreprise, d'une société en tout cas qui va concevoir, fabriquer et installer en fait ce kit-là pour des promoteurs privés ou alors pour des ONG ou des projets de développement. Alors, next one. Alors, l'autre, pour faire un clin d'œil au collège d'ingénierie, parce que 2 yeux abrite effectivement un deuxième centre, le collège d'ingénierie, nous avons développé dans nos laboratoires de recherche un nouveau type de matériau qui est à base de géopolymères, donc pour les briques en terre comprimée. Et ce matériau, on l'a testé au laboratoire, il est résistant en tout cas avec toutes les propriétés mécaniques et thermiques et moins polluant également. Et donc la perspective qui est sur la table également, c'est la création en fait d'une entreprise ou d'une société qui va en fait faire la conception, la fabrication et la vente de ce produit-là. Et nous avons identifié en fait un marché potentiel. Il faut dire que les business plans sont déjà sont en cours de finalisation et bientôt nous allons passer à la phase donc de recherche de partenariat. Pour ce produit, par exemple, nous avons déjà identifié un partenaire avec qui nous sommes en discussion pour justement contribuer à la création donc de l'entreprise en fait en question. Alors voilà, donc en termes de difficultés, il faut dire que ce sont les ressources et les partenaires. Alors donc ça je pense que tout à l'heure cela a été montré, c'est un challenge. Comment financer en fait tout cela en termes de ressources humaines, de matériel et de ressources financières. La solution que nous avons trouvée, c'est un autofinancement du centre. Et c'est ce que nous faisons. Nous prenons en fait sur nos ressources propres pour accompagner l'innovation, pour accompagner les porteurs de projets. Donc ça veut dire que les ressources générées ne doivent pas servir uniquement en fait à faire autre chose, mais aussi en fait à soutenir l'innovation. L'autre aspect, c'est que nous montons des projets pour des fonds compétitifs avec donc des bailleurs de fonds. Et enfin, je vais finir sur le contexte législatif. Ce matin, cela a été en fait longuement discuté et nous pensons que le cas de la Côte d'Ivoire, qui a déjà été partagé avec nous auparavant, pourrait être mis à profit dans d'autres pays pour vraiment créer un environnement en fait favorable à l'innovation et à la création d'entreprises. Merci beaucoup.
Just to say that I also run an incubator a long time in my previous life, and we managed to have about 20 startups in about 15 years, and you have 45 in about 5 or 10, so you have 4 times the results. And this, I think this does not happen by chance, it happens because you have a process in place. So they have a process in place, and this is the kind of things I think should be shared in the time that will come, these capacity building initiatives, to share these activities, to share the way things are well done. So our next presenter, which is who is also in the innovation head, is the last one on this innovation head, is Professor, is a good friend, Professor Barnabas Ikiu from CEFTER, Benue State University in Nigeria. Okay. CEFTER is the Center for Excellence for Control of Post-Harvest Food Losses. So we all know that post-harvest food losses is after we harvest, we lose them. Yeah. What we don't know is that post-harvest losses are the major factor contributing to food insecurity in sub-Saharan Africa, and that the estimates indicate that Africa loses $4 billion every year due to post-harvest losses, and this is where CEFTER stands. The worst thing that happened to CEFTER was, not difficult to guess, when COVID appeared, and they had a lot of problems. And it was, but one of the things that they could not continue with the lectures, and the best time, the best moment was when they got additional funds. So, Professor Barnabas, come to the stage, please.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for the introduction. Yes, we're happy when we got additional funds from CEFTER, Benue State University. We work on controlling post-harvest losses, and we are talking about innovation and sustainability. I'm going to narrow it down to our approach, how we are handling it. All of us know how innovation is the discovery of new idea processes or significant enhancement of anything. The good thing we have noticed is that innovation originates from people, and it could be from very unexperienced people, but it can also be from very experienced people. And at our center, we have identified 2 groups of people. We have the students, either high-level students or low-level students, and then we have the academic staff, and all of them contribute into generating innovations. And then what we also do, have also done is that we also have realized that when you generate, get innovation, you generate attention, and then it attracts money, and then it attracts relevance and integrity. And all these features I've mentioned here are very critical in sustainability, because we have been introduced to people that we are good in doing this. That's the integrity. And some people have come to us that they are supposed to do this, and they heard that it is only us that can do it. That's relevance. And then we also have a way to try and initiate ideas on how people around us can think about innovation. And the key thing in our center is the annual food week that we do. We had a food and innovation week that we do every year, where students, whether you are in rural sociology or food science or food processing, or you just come to study in the center for a short course, will make you think about what new can you add in the food value chain and what level of innovation can we generate. And then above all, this innovation we think is going to sustain us. So on the picture on the far left there is of academic staff presenting a very simple idea, a simple modified biodegradable breathable bag for packaging of fresh produce. Most people in Nigeria know that they use polythene bags to package fresh produce to take it long distances. So that is just a breathable biodegradable bags that we innovated from. It's already existing in the market. We only added some more ventilation holes on the bag. We noticed that it has served. It has even been tested in the laboratory to work more efficient than the polythene bags that are using packaged mangoes or fresh vegetables. So we excite the academics to do that. And then we have a big team of students that we put them in the environment to think that they need to add something, either big or small. Well, these are just the recent graduates from our center PhDs. They came to take a picture, and they are very good observers at the back, the two guys there. So what we have done is that we have seen that the excitement from the model of implementation has changed things across the West and Central Africa. Over there is our student, who is Evelyn from Cameroon. He was able to tag along in our project on cassava value chain, trying to process high quality cassava flour. And she's established a business in Cameroon, and she is processing, she is training, and she is selling, and the business is registered. Next. Ibrahim Sisi, can you hear me? Ibrahim Sisi, in the middle there, is from the Gambia, trained under us and has excited a lot of innovations in the Gambia. But on the right here, he's also one of our students who just graduated masters. He left the center with a big innovative mind and has created a standard farm, produces tomatoes, processes the same tomatoes into canned tomato, and also runs training for people who want to do new farms. The idea is we're not just creating innovations, but we're training people to also go and create innovations. Next. So, major achievements, we'll talk about in two sections. At the institutional level, we have been able to develop a lot of products from students. And the main thing we have is also from cassava, because we established cassava as a value chain that will pay more attention. The aim of this is to overall reduce the import of wheat into the country or into West Africa. We have been able to modify cassava to be high quality cassava flour to be used to bake anything at all. And we were able to register a product, is biscuit made from cassava. This biscuit got NAFDAC approval, and we were able to get the community to buy into that product. So the federal government purchased the product. We were able to given a contract to produce and supply 1.6 million pieces every month to students. We also, thank you. Yeah, that's high energy biscuits because the children, most of them may not have access to those biscuits at home. We were also able to get the intention of UNDP and to come and participate in running the experiment with us on adding value to different other food products. That's relevance because UNDP came to Benin State and they were told that if they want to do that successfully, they should come to CEFTA. And they did. And we were able to market our products. And the last thing that is we achieved that we were able to think big. When we developed that product from the laboratory, we had confidence that even though it's just a laboratory experiment that has been repeatable, it can be transformed into a big project that trucks will come to the warehouse. Everything you see there is a value chain that we created. We looped in farmers, we looped in processors, and this is our own warehouse, the one down here. And the puppies you see there are those that eat the biscuit that we process and sell. And we're able to also train additional 30 bakeries with our own formula to also be able to do this cassava value chain. The overall aim is to try and reduce dependence on wheat. Next. Oh, some of our products are also showing up here. These are other products that we do next. We need to get the next one. Next. Yes. Now, we also, at the student level, we had initiated startups. We had 1,300 applicants. We even had to involve an experienced person from Zagreb, the biocenter there, to help us review these applications and select 11 people that we funded. So the picture you see there is of the 11 startups that you moved. Next, they're animated, so move faster so that we'll get to the end of the page. So this is some of the pictures of people that we funded in the 11 startups. This is what they are producing now. These are all registered companies, and the products are in the market in the country. Next. Okay, so key challenges, business management. We are all scientists, professors trying to publish. We have problems in managing businesses. So official registration and licensing is key, involves government agencies. Independence of the business from the university. Managing patents and royalties, because an idea is beginning to generate money. And then operating as a business, product acceptability. Some people don't want cassava biscuit. How do we make it compatible to wheat? The next one is how to scale up. We need funding. We know as a university going to get loans is also tricky. But I want to call attention to the picture in the middle. Our innovation has moved to communities, and I'm happy because they projected something on UNHCR. Those groups are refugees from Cameroon. The center trained them and gave them those equipment to go and start a community business to produce high quality cassava flour and bake things. So I think I'm a high bidder in that UNHCR deal. Next. Solutions. Develop research policy so that you manage your royalties and that. Monitor your student research, because most students, if you don't monitor them, very exciting things will leak out of your lab and get prominence elsewhere. Register spin-off companies. Yes, we're happy we have registered a company with Corporate Affairs Commission, and we are supporting others to also start companies. In total, we have 12 companies that are started. One, we are fully in control, producing 4 products and having proof of concept for many. And then employ experienced managers. And then get the support of funding agencies. If you think big, we are moving from laboratory to go into a fully built self-taught food technology innovation complex. Okay. It is almost going to be commissioned. By April next year, we invite the World Bank to come and commission that factory that is going to be producing 6 different products at a commercial scale. Thank you very much.
There's not much I can say because you are already closing. The only thing I can say is that I was there 3 weeks ago and I ate everything. And I'm still here. So, so I can recommend what they do there. It's a very amazing example of practice, applied innovation. Very interesting example. So we're going to do a break. Let's do a 15 minutes. 15 minutes, well, okay, 20 minutes break, but it's really 20 minutes. Let's get back here in 20 minutes. The only thing I would like to ask is if Professor Gordon Awandari is there, he can come. Okay, yeah, he can come to me now, please. So 20 minutes break and we'll resume here in 20 minutes. Thank you.